We know the mantra, with great power comes great responsibility. It's the creed of one of Marvel's most beloved heroes. But for Peter Parker, it was never a blessing. It was a curse. We watch him soar above the Manhattan skyline, a beacon of hope, always quick with a joke. Yet beneath the mask, Spider-Man is arguably the most tragic figure in the entire Marvel universe. He saves the world countless times, but he can never save himself from heartbreak. This isn't a story of his victories. This is the story of why Spider-Man can never have a happy ending. It's the unbearable cost of being Peter Parker. The tragedy starts not with the spider bite, but with the man who raised him. Uncle Ben's death is the crucible that forged the hero. A casual moment of self-interest, Peter refusing to stop a thief, led directly to the murder of his father figure. That moment wasn't just a motivation, it was a permanent, festering wound of guilt. Every punch he throws, every life he saves, is a desperate, endless attempt to atone for one fatal mistake. That is the core difference. Other heroes fight for justice. Spider-Man fights for redemption he can never truly earn. And the cost begins immediately. The mantle of responsibility demands constant personal sacrifice. He loses jobs, fails classes, and pushes away every meaningful relationship. His civilian life is perpetually sacrificed on the altar of the mask. Liz Allen, Flash Thompson, even his beloved Aunt May, they all pay the price for Peter's secret, a life of constant worry, confusion, or disappointment. But the greatest wounds are the romantic ones. Gwen Stacy was the purest love Peter ever knew, bright, witty, and untainted by the chaos of his superhero life. When the Green Goblin threw her from the George Washington Bridge, it became the defining moment of Peter's life, the moment he failed. That thwip of his web, meant to save her, was what snapped her neck. Peter's power didn't save her. In a cruel twist of fate, it was the weapon of her demise. He was the hero, and yet he was responsible for the love of his life being taken. Years later, his greatest love, Mary Jane Watson, faced a different kind of erasure. In the One More Day storyline, Aunt May is dying. To save her, Peter makes a deal with the demon Mephisto. His marriage, his history with Mary Jane, his happiness, all for a single life. It wasn't a death, but a complete annulment of his greatest joy. He traded eternal love for familial duty. It proves an agonizing truth. Peter Parker can be a hero, or he can be happy, but he can never be both. The curse extends beyond his romantic partners. It infects his closest friends, often turning them into his deadliest foes. Take Harry Osborn, Peter's first friend at Empire State University and the son of his greatest enemy, Norman Osborn. The emotional trauma Peter inflicted on Harry, as Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin, broke Harry's mind, driving him to take up his father's mantle. Harry's madness was fueled by the loss of his father and the betrayal he felt from his best friend. Peter's life is a constant loop. Save the city and inevitably hurt the people he cares about most.
We are going to have so much fun together.
Then there's Eddie Brock. Once a respected journalist, Brock was humiliated and disgraced by Peter. When a piece of alien symbiote, rejected by Spider-Man, bonded with the disgraced reporter, Venom was born. Brock's hatred was deeply personal. It wasn't about saving the world. It was about Peter Parker ruining Eddie Brock's life. Spider-Man creates his own villains simply by existing, and they are always driven by a personal connection to the man behind the mask. The culmination of Peter's cursed life arrived during the Superior Spider-Man run. This event demonstrated the final, brutal truth. Peter Parker is so intrinsically tied to his responsibility that he cannot even be free in death. Dr. Octo Octavius, dying, managed to swab his consciousness into Peter's body, leaving Peter's consciousness trapped in Doc Ock's failing shell. Octavius lived as the Superior Spider-Man, driven by ego and a misguided attempt to be a better hero. But as Octavius began to fail, Peter's dying consciousness was forced to fight back from inside his own body. In the very moment Peter Parker was finally free, literally in the process of dying, his spirit sacrificed its own peace to ensure his loved ones and his city remained safe. He gave up the final rest to teach his greatest enemy the true meaning of responsibility. The irony is excruciating. Peter's spirit was forced to die twice just to save the world one more time. There is no escape. The responsibility is eternal. Why does Spider-Man endure? Because he is the perfect reflection of the human condition. We are all haunted by our mistakes and defined by our choices. Peter Parker has lost more than any other hero. His guardian, his first love, his marriage, his friends, his reputation, and even his own body. He is constantly battered, broken, and defeated, yet he always gets up. His tragedy isn't that he fails, it's that despite the overwhelming pain, he never stops trying. He embraces the curse, he keeps putting on the mask, ready to face the next heartbreak, because he knows if he doesn't, the consequences will be far worse. The curse of great responsibility ensures Peter Parker will never find eternal happiness, but it also ensures he will forever be the spectacular Spider-Man.